Welcome to JI Studio 58A here at the Jamaica Information Service. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone online, watching and listening. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, paying for their tertiary education is a challenge that many Jamaicans face. But after this interview, hopefully there will be a lot less persons facing this challenge. We're here talking today about scholarships. And our guest today is Miss Danielle Hall. She is the Scholarship Administrator at the Ministry of Finance's Scholarship and Assistance Unit. Welcome, Ms. Hall.
Thank you for having me, Vaughn. Good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, viewers. It's my pleasure to be here today to share some vital information on the scholarships that we offer at the Ministry of Finance and the public service.
All right, well, we're reminding our viewers and our listeners that there's a reason we're on Facebook. There's a reason we're on social media. We want you to interact with our guest. We want you to be able to send in your questions, ask her everything that you need to know, everything that you want to find out about the process so that we can make this a real interactive program and you can really benefit in ways that you really need to. Especially this scholarship topic is one that I can guarantee a lot of you will benefit from. So let's go on to the questions and get right into it. So talk to me about the work of the Ministry of Finance's Scholarship and Assistance Unit.
Okay, the Scholarships and Assistance Unit is a branch of the Strategic Human Resource Management Division. And this division has a mandate to foster human capital development and to strengthen human capital development. And so the Scholarships and Assistance Unit has aligned its programs with Vision 2030, the National Development Plan. In particular, goal number 1, Jamaicans are empowered to achieve their fullest potential.
Right.
So through the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, the Scholarships and Assistance Unit, we offer scholarships, partially funded or even fully funded scholarships for persons who wish to pursue programs which contribute to the nation's growth and development. Okay. So that is who we are.
All right, so essentially the scholarships that you offer are in fact kind of tied to the national goals and national development. So we kind of make sure we channel persons into the areas that will benefit the country.
Indeed.
All right, so what kind of scholarships are we talking about here? I mean, in more specific, let's get specific and talk about the different kind of scholarships that we have. I know that things may change depending on who provides them, but what kind of scholarships are we offering?
Okay, the Scholarships and Assistance Unit provides scholarship opportunities through agreements between the government of Jamaica and the government of China, Mexico, Russia, the Organization of American States, OAS, which includes the USA, Canada, South America, and the Caribbean. Also, the Association of the Commonwealth Universities and the New Zealand Development, as well as the Cuba-Jamaica Bilateral Program, which, Vaughn, is actually open right now as we speak. Okay. And we are inviting persons to apply for this scholarship. Now, we have 2 weeks to apply for this scholarship, and the deadline for this is Friday, May 4th. The scholarship opportunity from Cuba is for persons pursuing programs in the MBBS field, that's a Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, as well as postgraduate studies in internal medicine and general surgery.
Okay, so this is for the persons in the medical field.
This year in particular, because Cuba tends to offer different disciplines depending on the year.
All right, so you hear that persons are interested in being doctors, interested in studying medicine. There's an opportunity out there right now for you to help finance your education.
So we're inviting all the applications to come in now. And I must say that the majority of our scholarships are between January and March of each year.
Okay.
And we offer at all levels, undergraduate, postgraduate, and at the doctoral level as well.
All right. It sounds to me like, based on the things that you listed a while ago, that a lot of the scholarships come through our bilateral partners, international partners. You mentioned Cuba, New Zealand, and several others. So how exactly does that work? How do we make that connection with our foreign partners and provide these scholarship opportunities?
Well, the Scholarships and Assistance Unit is also responsible for managing and giving training assistance offer from the bilateral and the multilateral partners. Mm-hmm. So that is how we actually tie into the giving out of the scholarships each year.
Mm-hmm. All right. And so talk to me now about how the application process. How do people apply for these scholarships? What's that like? I mean, we're encouraging them to apply, but where do they go? What do they do? How do they get the process done?
I'll take you right through that process. Now, the ministry has provided on their website YouTube links for persons to go through a step-by-step process. So this process will give them all the information they need, but I will go through it. So step one is to visit the website, which is www.mof.gov.jm/scholarships.
Okay.
And also to visit the media Step 2, complete your application form. Now, the application form is either completed online and submitted, or is printed, filled out, and submitted. Step 3 is to prepare your scholarship application package. So that includes all the documents that we will require. Now, each scholarship that we offer will tell you exactly what it is that you need to put in your package before submitting. And step 4 is to submit it. So this is actually taking the package now to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, which is located at 30 National Heroes Circle, Kingston 4. And step 5, now note that only shortlisted applicants will be contacted.
Okay,
so during this period, we ask persons to check their emails for the notification, to check the status of the application review period. That's what it is. And step 6 is to prepare yourselves for the interview. So during this time...
So there's an interview component as well?
Yes, there is. We'll get into that shortly.
Okay.
The interview, while you're preparing, you may also visit the website where we have a brochure that will give you preparation tips for how to prepare yourself for the interview so you come ready.
So we're going to get into it later. Is it that they're going to do the interview with you guys at the Ministry of Finance, or at the different, for example, the embassies and so on, where the countries that the scholarships are being offered out of?
Well, the interview is usually conducted at the ministry. However, it's an independent panel, usually comprised of persons from the Ministry of Education, civil society, and the private sector. So we have an independent panel.
All right. Well, this is where I interject just to remind you to send in your questions. We have Miss Hall right here with all the information that can help you to get that. Maybe she might give you the information that you need right this minute to get the scholarship you need to really boost your academic progress, get into that career that you really want. So this is the opportunity. We're inviting your questions, and we're really hoping that you ask her as many as possible. When we're finished here, we want you to refer to her as the scholarship lady. When you see her out in the streets, you can just thank her up and ask her, Miss Hall, how am I get this scholarship, that kind of thing. All right, I hope you're prepared for when you become a superstar.
I am prepared.
All right.
And I must mention the last step of the application process is that persons, awardees that is, will be required to visit the scholarships and assistance units at the Ministry of Finance to administer an agreement that is between themselves and the government.
So talk to me about, I would imagine that the scholarships vary in terms of what participants or successful applicants get. I mean, can you give me an idea of the different range of things that person? I mean, of course, I would imagine they get tuition and that kind of thing. But what are some of the other things that you might find persons getting?
So each scholarship, there is a different package. So each scholarship will present with different allowances. So as you mentioned, tuition. And I did say that we have partially and fully funded scholarship. So for a fully funded scholarship, for example, you will receive tuition, airfare, book allowance, miscellaneous, things like that. So persons have all of this information now. I hope this is encouraging them to apply even more. Okay. And also, when we say partially, fully funded scholarship,
funded, right.
Let's take, for example, the OAS scholarship. Now, that scholarship, though persons must reside in Jamaica to apply for scholarship, the OAS scholarship is a scholarship that funds the last 2 years of a degree program. So even if a Jamaican is already overseas pursuing their course, they can apply for this scholarship.
Well, we're having a question online from Javon Minter. Thank you, Javon, for sending in your question. But you're getting a little bit ahead of our interview. He's asking about the bonding part of the scholarship. And we're definitely going to get into that. We're not quite there yet, but stay tuned, Javon, because we're definitely going to answer that question. That's something that we a lot of persons are interested in, and we're going to talk about that. Sure. All right, well, another person is online, Ms. Peter Gayro. Thank you, Peter Gay. Appreciate the question. She wants to find out how important is professional experience when you're applying for these, applying for a scholarship. Is that taken into consideration, and how much so? Is that when you're considering or weighing the applicants and so on?
Well, for our applications, the scholarship applications, persons should ensure that their courses that they wish to pursue are in line with the National Development Plan for the country that will contribute to the economic growth of the country. So your professional experience is usually dependent on the scholarship that you are applying for. So the person who is applying for an undergraduate scholarship, Vaughan, will not necessarily have the same experience as a person who will apply for a PhD.
And I guess just to be clear, I guess to make persons aware, this obviously is more. I would imagine it's more than bachelor's degree. There are masters
Yes,
and
there are.
other kind of
So
postgraduate degrees as well.
Different offering countries will present different scholarship opportunities. So we have from the bachelor's level, we have masters, and we have the doctoral level.
All right, wonderful. Now, I wanted to talk about the development, that the element of tying the scholarships to our development areas. I mean, actually, you mentioned Vision 2030 when we were opening and the government's long-term development plan, and part of that is making sure that we train our workforce to meet the demands that our society needs, right? So talk to me about that and how we go about making sure that the scholarships meet these needs and that we find applicants to fill those positions.
Okay, Vaughn. So I'd like to use the Petro-Carib Scholarship Program as a perfect example of this. Now, the Petro-Carib Scholarship Program, as you probably would remember, was launched in 2016. This scholarship is specifically for 4 thematic areas, which are Spanish, entrepreneurship, logistics, and energy. Now, this scholarship is a bit unique because persons can apply if they have already been enrolled into an institution or already been accepted to the institution. Now, the government, these scholarships were chosen because we see how this is in line with economic growth. We're talking about logistics and energy. So these things will foster economic growth. And so our partners will offer these programs that will contribute to the economic growth of the country.
I think we should just go. I think persons are interested, so let's not keep them waiting too long. Let's touch the bonding issue. Let's touch it. Let's start. Thanks again, Jermaine Minto, for your question. I appreciate that. Let's talk about it. Naturally, we understand that when persons take up these scholarship opportunities, there comes a period in which they are required to work with the government, work for the government. So that, I mean, naturally, the government gets a little return on its investment, or the various scholarship persons who provide the scholarships. So talk to me about that part of it.
Okay, so before I even get into the agreement itself, we'd like to just explain that when we train persons, these awardees are trained as an investment in our human capital and to enhance the capacity of our citizens to contribute to the nation's growth and development. So the bonding now is an agreement between the awardee and the government that requires them to either return to Jamaica or to remain in Jamaica to serve for a period, most times for 5 years.
5 years.
Now, I don't want persons to look at this agreement as a tie-down. This is skill sets remaining in the country. This is helping our country to build. So this is a great opportunity for persons.
Okay, and in terms of, do you find that, is this a turn off? Does the bonding stipulation turn people away? Do you find that people still are interested in coming and accessing the scholarships anyway? I'd
like to say people are still interested. And the reason why I'd say that, Vaughn, is because let's look at the last 2 financial years. We trained 214 persons in the financial year 2017-2018 and 190 persons in 2016. So people are still very much interested in applying for scholarships, regardless of the bonding aspect.
Well, you just touched on the numbers. I said, repeat those numbers again for me. How many persons have been applying in this year?
Well, this is the persons who have been awarded. So not even the amount of persons who applied for the scholarship. So we had 190 persons in 2016-2017 and 214 in 2017-2018.
Can you talk about have an idea of how many persons apply each year?
Well, I'm sure the statistics are there. I wouldn't be able to provide that right now, but persons have been embarking on these opportunities. We have never announced a scholarship and persons don't embark.
I mean, the reason I ask is because we want persons to appreciate that this is not a selective process where you feel like persons might feel like, nah apply because I nah get through, and you know what I mean, or it's only for specific people or that kind of thing. So I want persons to come away feeling that these opportunities are wide open for anybody.
As we stated before, our eligibility criteria is any Jamaican citizen at the age of 18 and has been residing in the country. Now, each scholarship comes with an eligibility criteria. Now, once you know you have met this criteria, apply for the scholarship.
All right. Persons online want you to restate the email address that they can go and send their application. So as I would also just restate the website that they can go to and get the information.
I'll restate the website, which is www.mof.gov.jm/scholarships.
All right, and they can get all the information.
The information. The ministry has made it so easy for persons to get scholarship information. And I'll reinforce that we have YouTube links on our page, which will help with videos to help persons step by step to apply for these programs.
All right. And in terms of is there a follow-up? Do you guys work with the persons who come in and apply to ensure that you talked about working with them to ensure that they can submit their best applications. I want persons to feel like this is not a one-sided process, that they can come in and talk to you guys so they can get help to make sure that they submit the best application possible.
The unit is open for these things, as well as we would encourage persons to seek help from persons they know who would be best fit in this area. But the ministry is there, the Scholarships and Assistance Unit will provide any assistance that we possibly can for applicants.
And in terms of how many scholarships or scholarship opportunities, I want to get a sense of how many scholarship opportunities become available each year. I mean, are they the result of long-standing agreements with our different partners, or do you find that, do you guys just pay attention to what's happening in the world and just pull them as soon as you see them and then try, and what's the process?
Well,
how do you work with them?
because it is a bilateral agreement, it is what the different countries offer to us. So our scholarships are consistent yearly, and this is inclusive of the Cuban scholarship, the Russian scholarship, the Chinese scholarship, the Mexico scholarship. All these scholarships have been quite consistent over the years. I would love to use this opportunity to have them tune into the website very regularly. Okay. Check the website. Our website is very current, and you will see, and the media will also have the scholarships that are available. We make announcements as they become available to us.
Okay. And apart from the website, are your Facebook
I'm going to
page
get into that now, if you wish. So other than the website, which I'll repeat again, is www.mof.gov.jm/scholarships. And you can follow us on Twitter at MOF Jamaica and our Facebook page, MOF Jamaica. So you see, and if you wish, you can always visit the Scholarships and Assistance Unit at the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. That's 30 National Hero Circle, Kingston 4. Very easy to find.
Very easy to find.
And we are always willing to help.
All right. Well, I think that should be as much questions as I have. Let me check with our technical operators if you have any more questions. Is there anything else, anyone?
There is an aspect that I...
there's something more you want to talk about?
Yes.
Sure.
So I just wanted to reinforce the Petro-Caribbean Scholarship Fund, that this scholarship... it's a good scholarship to embark on once it becomes available. So persons should remember, though, that it differs because it's only 4 thematic areas that we give scholarships to.
All right, wonderful. So I think we're at this point we can wrap. Thank you for all the information that you have provided. Persons who thank you so much. Persons who don't serve their bond, what are the repercussions for persons who have that challenge?
I think we should really look into this because the ministry has a robust monitoring and compliance program. So therefore, persons are able to negotiate. We negotiate a mutually beneficial outcome for persons who are unable to fulfill their bonding requirements. Okay. So again, this unit is
can you be a little more specific in terms of mutually beneficial? Persons might wonder, what exactly does that mean? So persons may come into the office, and this unit is also located in the Scholarships and Assistance Unit. They come in and speak with one of our officers regarding this agreement of how it is that they will compensate for the package that they received. What are some other reasons you might find that persons are unable to finish the bonding agreement? Migration
tends to be one of our biggest reasons why persons are not able to complete their bonds, and that is one of the reasons we would consider this negotiation. Okay,
but I mean, it's not an antagonistic process, meaning that you guys are willing to sit down and talk. Because a person might be a little bit afraid, you know what I mean? They might think that,
No, we encourage persons to come in and speak with us if this issue does arise.
All right. I think that's all the questions I have. Is there anything else that you want to add while we're here?
I think I pretty much covered everything, but if listeners and the viewers have questions, they know where to find me, as well as just keep visiting the ministry's website. It's very important because the ministry has put a lot of effort into making the steps for application very easy.
And what about your email address? Let's say persons might have some questions that they didn't necessarily get here, but they want to send you an email to ask you a question.
The unit has an email address, so it's scholarships at mof.gov.jm.
And they can send their questions there and they'll get the answers that they need.
Yes, they can.
All right, Danielle, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I think a lot of persons would have been edified by this conversation. A lot of persons out there just wondering, you might just have been the conversation they needed to hear at this time so that they could get their application in and, get their career dreams back on track. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. And please remember to use this opportunity to apply for any scholarship that becomes available.
All right. Thank you so much. We do this every Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, JIS Studio 58A. This is where we create opportunities for you to talk to and interact with members of your government to get more information, get understanding, clarify the issues you have. We love it when you send in our questions, your comments, everything just so we can address the issues head on so persons can be edified and come away with greater understanding. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time. Thank you and have a good day.